The day the aliens arrived on Earth was sunny and calm. Their ship landed in a forest near a big lake. The ship was smooth and white like a pearl. No one expected aliens to come that day. There were no big warnings or army trucks. The ship just landed quietly. Sam Harris was the first person to see them. Sam worked as a scientist who studied fish and plants in the lake. He had noticed strange energy readings in the area for weeks. That morning, he went to check what was happening. He brought his tools and walked into the forest. What he found, there changed everything humans knew about space. The aliens were tall, about 7 feet, with blue skin that shined in the sunlight. They had 4 eyes on their faces, set up like the corners of a diamond. They looked at Sam with what seemed like wonder. One alien stepped forward with its hands out, palms facing up. This seemed to mean peace. "We come looking for a new home," the alien said once they could talk to each other. "Our world is dying. We have traveled past 18 star systems to find a good place to live. Your Earth looks like heaven to us." In the next few weeks, humans learned more about these aliens, who called themselves the Zarians. They came from a world that was now too polluted to live on. They were mostly plant experts and loved nature. Earth, with its many types of land and clean water, seemed perfect to them. World leaders set up a team to welcome the aliens. Soon, small groups of Zarians began living in protected nature areas around the world. Their machines were much better than human ones, especially for cleaning the air and water and making clean energy. They shared this technology freely. All they wanted was a place to live. Lisa Cooper, a woman who worked to protect the environment, was given the job of showing the aliens around Earth. She needed to help them learn about all the plants and animals on their new home. "Your planet is amazing," said Vorn, the main alien leader, during one of their first walks through the woods near the big lake. "The way all your animals and plants live together is so peaceful. It reminds us of our world before it got sick." Lisa smiled nervously. She knew Earth wasn't exactly as perfect as the aliens thought, but she didn't want to correct them too quickly. Humans needed the good machines the aliens brought. Also, so far the aliens had only seen the most beautiful, protected parts of Earth. "There is much more to show you," she said, thinking about all the different places on Earth. "Some parts of our world might surprise you." She had no idea how right those words would be. Over the next month, more aliens arrived in 3 more ships. They built a small town near the lake. The buildings were strange but pretty, made with materials that worked with nature instead of hurting it. The aliens planted some of their own plants, which grew well beside Earth plants. Paul Chen, who led the human team working with the aliens, was impressed by how much the aliens cared for nature. "They've made the lake water cleaner than it's been in 50 years, he told Lisa. "Their methods could help fix our climate problems within 10 years. The Zarians loved Earth's wild places. Vorn often talked about how Earth had a perfect balance that his people had lost long ago. They were amazed by how seasons changed, how animals lived together, and especially by all the fresh water, something that had become rare on their planet. Lisa grew to like the aliens, especially Vorn. His joy at seeing Earth's beauty made her see her own planet in a new way. Together they explored old forests, mountain fields, and ocean shores. The aliens wrote down information about every plant and animal they saw, making better records than human scientists had ever made. "Your people have saved so much," Vorn told Lisa one evening as they watched the sun go down over the lake. "On our world, we didn't see the damage we were doing until it was too late. Here, everything lives in such harmony." Lisa shifted in her seat, feeling uncomfortable. "Well, that's not exactly true. We've actually lost many types of plants and animals in just the last 100 years. These places you've seen are only nice because we've worked hard to protect them." Vorn blinked his upper eyes in a way that Lisa now knew meant he was confused. "But the places we've visited look so healthy. The way all living things connect to each other, the clean waters. Those are our best protected areas," Lisa admitted. "We picked them specially for your first homes. There are many places on Earth where humans haven't been as careful. The alien was quiet for a long time. I would like to see these places too, to know the whole truth about your world." Lisa nodded slowly. "I think that's smart, but there's Something else you should know about Earth. The harmony you see isn't always gentle. What do you mean? Vorn asked. Lisa thought about how to explain. Life on Earth grew through fighting as much as working together. Many animals stay alive by eating others, sometimes in ways that might seem cruel to someone watching from outside. All worlds have hunters, Vorn said, waving his hand. Our world had meat-eating animals too. Lisa wasn't sure the aliens really understood. The Zarians had seemed upset even when they saw a hawk catch a mouse. How would they react to the more intense ways animals hunted and ate on Earth? I think it's time you saw some of our more extreme examples of nature's balance, she said finally. There's a research building in the Amazon jungle I'd like to take you to next week. Vorn agreed happily, not knowing that his view of Earth as a gentle paradise was about to be completely changed. That night, Lisa called Sam. They have no idea what real predators are like, she said. They think Earth is some kind of perfect garden where everything lives in gentle balance. So what's your plan? Sam asked. I'm taking them to see the piranhas, Lisa said. There was silence on the phone. Then Sam whistled. That will definitely change their minds. Are you sure that's a good idea? We need their technology, Lisa. What? If they get scared and leave? They need to know the truth about Earth if they're going to live here, Lisa said firmly. Besides, they're scientists. They'll understand that nature isn't always pretty. But as she hung up the phone, Lisa wasn't so sure. The Zarians seemed so gentle, so shocked by even the smallest acts of hunting. How would they react when they saw one of Earth's most efficient killing machines in action? Lisa looked out her window at the alien settlement glowing softly in the distance. She hoped she wasn't about to make a terrible mistake. 3 months after the aliens first landed, they had made 6 small towns across Earth. Each town was in a beautiful wild place. Their main town, near the big lake, was growing well. They had planted strange but pretty alien plants that grew nicely with Earth plants. Dr. Greg Nelson, who led the team working with the aliens, was happy with how the Zarians took care of nature. They have fixed areas that were hurt by pollution, he told world leaders at a meeting. Their cleaning methods could fix our climate problems in 10 years. The Zarians looked at Earth's wild places like they were special treasures. Vorn often talked about how Earth had a perfect balance that his people had lost long ago. They loved the way animals and plants lived together, how the seasons changed, and most of all, the fresh water, something rare on their old planet. Lisa had grown to like the aliens, especially Vorn. His joy at seeing Earth's beauty was catching. Together they had visited old forests, mountain meadows, and beach wetlands. The aliens wrote down details about every plant and animal with great care. Their records were better than any human science books. Your people have saved so much, Vorn told Lisa one evening as they watched the sun set over the big lake. On our world, we didn't notice the damage we were doing until it was too late. Here, everything lives in such peace. Lisa moved in her seat, feeling uneasy. Well, that's not quite right. We've actually lost many types of animals and plants in just the last 100 years. These places you've seen are only nice because we've worked hard to save them. Vorn's upper eyes blinked in a way that Lisa now knew meant he was confused. But the places we visited look so healthy. The way all living things work together, the clean waters. Those are our best protected areas, Lisa admitted. We picked them specially for your first towns. There are many places on Earth where humans haven't been as careful. The alien was quiet for a long time. I would like to see these places too, to know the whole truth about your world. Lisa nodded slowly. I think that's wise. But there's something else you should know about Earth. The harmony you see isn't always gentle. What do you mean? Vorn asked. Lisa thought about how to explain. Life on Earth grew through fighting as much as working together. Many animals stay alive by eating others, sometimes in ways that might seem cruel to outsiders. All worlds have hunters, Vorn said, waving his hand. Our world had meat-eating animals too. Lisa wasn't sure the aliens really understood. The Zarians had seemed upset even when they saw a hawk catch a mouse. How would they react to the more intense ways animals hunted and ate on Earth? I think it's time you saw some of our more extreme examples of nature's balance, she said finally. There's a research building in the Amazon jungle I'd like to take you to next week. Vorn agreed happily, not knowing that his view of Earth as a gentle paradise was about to be completely changed. The trip to the Amazon Research Center was not easy. The aliens, despite their space travel technology, didn't like Earth's airplanes. Lisa had to find a special plane for them, changed to fit their tall bodies and sensitive ears. Sam joined the trip, along with Vorn and two other aliens named Mira and Kel. As they flew south across the equator, Lisa saw the aliens pressing against the windows, amazed by the changing land below. "Your world has so many different living places in such a small planet," Mira said, her voice sounding musical, through her talking device. "Our old planet had more sameness across it." Sam nodded. "Earth's many types of plants and animals are one of our greatest treasures. The Amazon rainforest we're going to has more different species than anywhere else on the planet." "But you said, this area is in danger?" Kel asked, his four eyes blinking in a way that Lisa now knew showed worry. "Yes, sadly," Lisa replied. "Cutting down trees has taken almost 20% of the original rainforest. The research center we're visiting is working to record species before they disappear forever." The aliens looked at each other with troubled faces. This wasn't the first time they had seen that Earth wasn't the perfect place they first thought. Over the past months, they had slowly learned about pollution, lost habitats, and animal deaths. Yet they stayed hopeful, looking at how humans tried to save nature rather than how they hurt it. When they finally landed at a small airstrip near the research center, the hot, wet air hit them like a wall. The aliens, however, seemed happy in it, their blue skin looking brighter. "This air feels a lot like our old world," Vorn explained as they traveled by boat down the winding river toward the research building. "Before things went bad, our planet had places much like this." The Amazon Research Center was a group of buildings on tall legs, joined by wooden walkways. Everything was built to have the smallest impact on the rainforest around it. Dr. Rosa Martinez, who ran the center, greeted them with friendly interest. "We've planned several trips to show you different parts of the rainforest," she explained after everyone met each other, "including the river systems, which I hear are especially interesting to you." "Yes," Vorn agreed. "Water systems were the first to fail on our world. We are very interested in how Earth keeps such healthy water environments." Dr. Martinez's face tightened just a little. "Well, healthy depends on how you look at it. Our waterways face many problems, but the Amazon does have one of the most complex freshwater systems on the planet." That evening, as they sat in the center's open-air eating area, surrounded by jungle sounds, Dr. Martinez explained what they would do that week. Most of the plan involved normal watching trips, walks in the treetops, night hikes, shallow water, studies. But on the last day, she mentioned a special show at the center's water research pools. "We keep several controlled areas where we study how hunters and prey interact," she explained. "One of them has a species I think you should know about if you're going to fully understand Earth's natural balance." "What species is that?" Mira asked. Lisa and Sam looked at each other. It had been Sam's idea to include this particular show, but Lisa had agreed it was needed. The Zarians needed to understand that Earth's perfect balance included some harsh truths. "They're called piranhas," Sam said, "and they are an important part of the river system here." "Are they plants?" Kel asked innocently. "No," Lisa replied, choosing her words carefully. "They're fish. Hunting fish that hunt in groups." The aliens showed polite interest, but Lisa could tell they didn't understand why this was important. How could they? Their own world's hunters had apparently been much gentler than Earth's most efficient killers. The next day they would explore the rainforest's wonders. But in 5 days, the Zarians would see a feeding show that would forever change how they saw their new home planet. The week passed quickly as the group explored the rainforest. The aliens looked with wonder at all the different forms of life, from tiny bright frogs to huge trees. They were especially interested in how different species worked together, how some plants needed certain bugs for pollination, or how some trees talked to each other through fungus networks under the soil. But Lisa noticed they still turned away whenever they saw one animal hunting another. When they spotted a big cat taking down a water pig by the river, Mira turned away, her skin changing to a pale color that Lisa now knew meant she was upset. "They still don't get it," Sam whispered to Lisa that evening. "They see the hunters, but they don't truly understand the hardness that can exist in a healthy ecosystem. Tomorrow might be too much," Lisa worried. "Maybe we should change our plans." Sam shook his head. "They need to know. If they're going to live here, if they're going to help us save these ecosystems, they can't keep thinking of Earth as some gentle paradise." On the final day, Dr. Martinez led them to a separate building that held the water research tanks. The building contained several large pools, each copying different river environments. The aliens followed with their usual scientific interest, asking questions about water chemistry and water plants. Then they reached the demonstration area, a large round tank with clear sides, filled with muddy water that looked like the Amazon River. Small fish darted back and forth inside it. "These are piranhas," Dr. Martinez explained, pointing to the tank. "Specifically red-bellied piranhas, one of the species people often think of when they imagine dangerous Amazon wildlife." The aliens moved closer, studying the fish with interest. To Lisa, the piranhas looked fairly normal at the moment. Silver, bodies with hints of red on their undersides, swimming calmly in their round tank. "They don't look threatening," Vorn said. "By themselves, they're not," Sam explained. "A single piranha is actually quite shy and will avoid larger animals. But in a group, what we call a school, they become one of the most efficient eating machines on the planet." Dr. Martinez nodded to a helper, who approached with a sealed box. "We feed them at this time every day. It's part of our research on their feeding patterns and social behavior." "What do they eat?" Kel asked. Rather than answering directly, Dr. Martinez motioned for the helper to continue. The young man opened the box, and using a long pair of metal grippers, held a large piece of meat over the tank, a fish body Lisa realized from one of the larger river species. "Watch carefully," Dr. Martinez instructed. The helper dropped the fish into the water. What happened next occurred so quickly that Lisa barely registered the sequence of events. The water erupted into a churning mass as dozens of piranhas converged on the meat. The clear water clouded almost instantly with blood and tiny bits of flesh. The peaceful swimming pattern transformed into a feeding frenzy of flashing teeth and darting silver bodies. Within seconds, literally seconds, the large fish was reduced to a floating skeleton, picked clean of every scrap of meat. As quickly as it had begun, the frenzy subsided, and the piranhas resumed their calm swimming pattern, with only the drifting skeleton and the slowly dispersing cloud of blood as evidence of what had occurred. Lisa turned to the aliens and felt her stomach drop. All three aliens had backed away from the tank. Their skin had paled to an almost white-blue color, and their four eyes were widened in what she now recognized as their expression of horror. "This," Vorn's translator device struggled as he spoke. "This is natural. This is part of your world's perfect balance." Lisa nodded slowly. "Yes, hunter-prey relationships on Earth can be intense. Piranhas evolved to be efficient eaters because food sources in the river can be unpredictable. Their ability to quickly strip a body is actually an important part of the river's ecosystem, their nature's cleanup crew." "But it's so..." Mira seemed unable to find the words, her translator making only broken sounds. "Violent?" Sam offered. "Yes, it is. But that's the reality of life on Earth. The balance you've admired isn't kept through gentleness. It's kept through highly efficient systems, some of which involve hunting that might seem brutal to outside watchers." The aliens remained silent, staring at the now calm water where only a clean fish skeleton remained. "There's something you should understand," Dr. Martinez said gently. "What you just saw isn't even the most extreme example of hunting on Earth. From the deep ocean to the African plains, life here has evolved countless ways for killing and eating other life. It's not mean, it's simply how energy moves through our ecosystems." Vorn finally spoke, his voice quiet through the translator. "We had no idea. None of our watching prepared us for this efficiency of death." Lisa stepped forward. "This is What I needed you to see. Earth is beautiful, yes. It's worth protecting and saving. But it's not the gentle paradise you thought it was. If you're going to make this your new home, you need to understand and accept all sides of its nature. The aliens looked at each other for a long time, talking in their own language without using their translators. Finally, Vorn turned back to the humans. We need time to process this new understanding, he said. Our ideas of ecological balance may be more different than we realized. As they left the research facility, Lisa couldn't help but worry. Had the demonstration been too much? Would the aliens reconsider their settlement on Earth now that they understood the harsher realities of its ecosystems? The flight back to the main alien settlement was quiet. The Zarians spoke little, seeming lost in thought. Lisa tried to start conversations several times, but received only short answers. Even the usually curious Mira showed no interest in the changing landscape below them. I think we made a mistake, Lisa whispered to Sam as the aliens huddled together at the other end of the plane, speaking in their own clicking language. Look at them. They're traumatized. Sam's face showed worry, but he shook his head. They needed to know the truth. Imagine if they had discovered it on their own, maybe by accident. That could have been worse. But what if they leave? What if they decide Earth is too violent for them? We need their help, Sam. Their technology could save our planet. They're scientists, Sam reminded her. Once they get over the shock, they'll understand that predation is a natural part of any ecosystem. It might take time, but they'll come around. Lisa wasn't convinced. When they landed at the airstrip near the main Zarian settlement, the aliens thanked them politely but quickly departed to their own community. Vorn, usually warm and friendly in his goodbyes, simply nodded at Lisa. Give them space, Sam advised as they watched the aliens walk away. This is a big shift in their understanding of Earth. They need time to process it. Over the next 2 weeks, the Zarians kept to themselves. They stopped their usual scientific trips with human researchers. They didn't send representatives to scheduled meetings with human leaders. The few humans allowed into their settlement reported unusual activity, new buildings being constructed, strange equipment being assembled. Rumors began to spread. Some people feared the aliens were preparing to leave Earth. Others worried they might be building weapons, seeing humans as violent creatures based on the nature of Earth's ecosystems. Government officials began to panic, and Sam was called to many emergency meetings to explain why he had thought showing the aliens feeding piranhas was a good idea. You may have single-handedly ended the most important first contact in human history, one angry official told him. Lisa defended their decision, but secretly, she shared some of the same fears. Had they destroyed humanity's relationship with its first alien visitors? Then, exactly 17 days after the piranha demonstration, Lisa received a message from Vorn. It was brief and to the point. Please come to our settlement tomorrow. We have something important to show you. Lisa read the message again and again, trying to figure out what it meant. Was this goodbye? Or had the Zarians come to some new understanding? With a mixture of hope and dread, she prepared for what might be her last meeting with the aliens who had so quickly become her friends. Lisa arrived at the Zarian settlement early the next morning. She was nervous. The settlement had changed in the last 2 weeks. New buildings stood where there had been none before. These buildings looked different from the earlier ones that had blended with nature. These new ones seemed more like science labs with metal walls and strange equipment visible through clear windows. Guards stood at the entrance, something Lisa had never seen before at the Zarian settlement. They recognized her and led her through the community without speaking. Humans and aliens who had once greeted each other warmly now passed with only small nods. The friendly atmosphere was gone. Lisa was brought to a new building in the center of the settlement. Inside, Vorn waited with several other Zarians she didn't recognize. They wore what looked like official uniforms, and they watched her with all 4 of their eyes. Thank you for coming, Lisa Cooper, Vorn said. His voice through the translator sounded formal, not warm like before. Of course, Lisa said, trying to hide her worry. Your message said you had something important to show me. Vorn nodded. Follow me. He led her through the building to a large room filled with water tanks. The tanks looked like the ones at the Amazon Research Center, but more advanced. Each tank held different small ecosystems. Some had water, some had dirt and plants, but what surprised Lisa most was seeing piranhas swimming in one of the tanks. "You brought piranhas here?" she asked, confused. "Yes," Vorn said. "After what you showed us, we needed to study them more closely." He moved to a screen on the wall and touched it. Images appeared showing other predators from Earth: sharks, wolves, lions, eagles. "We have been studying all of Earth's main predators," Vorn explained. "At first we were shocked by what we saw in the Amazon, but that shock has turned to great interest." "You're not afraid of them?" Lisa asked carefully. "Not afraid. Fascinated," Vorn corrected. "You see, we misunderstood something fundamental about Earth and about our own history." He led her to another part of the building where more Xarians were working with what looked like genetic samples and computer models. After we returned from the Amazon, our scientists began reviewing our historical records. We discovered something important. Our ancestors removed efficient predators from our ecosystems thousands of years ago. They thought they were creating a more peaceful world. Lisa was surprised. "You didn't have predators like ours?" "We did once, but our people decided they were too violent, too dangerous. Over many generations we removed them from our world, thinking we were making things better." Vorn's four eyes blinked sadly. "Instead, we started a chain of ecological disasters that eventually made our planet uninhabitable." A female Xarian approached with a tablet showing charts and graphs. "Our models now show that removing apex predators, the top hunters, was the first step in our planet's death. Without them, certain species grew too numerous. They consumed too many resources. The balance was broken." Lisa was stunned. "So when you saw the piranhas?" "We didn't recognize what we were seeing at first," Vorn admitted. "The speed and efficiency frightened us. But then we realized what we were witnessing, a vital part of a healthy ecosystem that our world had been missing for millennia." He led her to a final room where young Xarians were gathered around educational displays. They were watching videos of Earth predators and taking notes. "We are changing how we teach our children," Vorn explained. "For generations we taught that harmony comes from gentleness, from removing conflict. Now we understand that true balance requires the complete circle, including efficient predation." Lisa felt relief wash over her. "So you're not planning to leave Earth?" Vorn's skin rippled with blue waves, the Xarian equivalent of laughter. "Leave? No. We are more committed to staying than ever before. Your planet has taught us what ours forgot long ago." He took her to a large window overlooking the lake. New structures were being built along the shore, and Xarians worked alongside human scientists. "We have a new plan," Vorn said. "We want to establish conservation areas focused specifically on predator-prey relationships. We believe these are the most important parts of your ecosystems to protect." "That's not what most human conservation efforts focus on," Lisa said carefully. "Exactly. Humans, like our ancestors, often try to protect the beautiful, the gentle. But after seeing the piranhas, we understand that the fierce predators need protection, just as much, perhaps more." The next day, Lisa and Vorn met with human leaders to explain the Xarians' new focus. Some officials were confused by the aliens' sudden interest in Earth's most dangerous creatures, but scientists like Sam immediately understood. "They're right," Sam told the gathering. "Apex predators are keystone species. When we remove them, entire ecosystems collapse." Over the following months, the Xarians established research centers around the world, each focused on studying and protecting different predator species. They worked with human scientists to reintroduce predators to areas where they had disappeared. Their technology helped track animal populations and ensure healthy balances. One evening, 6 months after the piranha demonstration, Lisa joined Vorn on the shore of Lake Superior. They watched as a family of wolves, recently reintroduced with Xarian help, moved through the distant tree line. Our people used to believe that paradise meant peace at all costs, Vorn said quietly. We engineered the violence out of our world, thinking we were creating heaven. Instead, we created collapse. And now, Lisa asked, now we understand that paradise isn't a place without death or hunting or struggle. Paradise is a place where all parts of the cycle exist in balance. He gestured toward the wolves. These predators aren't a problem to solve. They're a vital part of the solution. Lisa smiled. When I took you to see the piranhas, I was worried you'd think Earth was too violent for your people. On the contrary, Vorn said. What you showed us was exactly what we needed to see. Life on your planet is beautifully efficient even in its most violent moments. The quick death of prey feeds the predator, which controls population, which protects plant life, which sustains the entire system. He turned all four eyes to her. There is deep wisdom in the piranha's teeth. Far out on the lake, they could see young Xarians in boats, working with human researchers to study the lake's fish populations. Their instruments glowed softly in the gathering dusk. Would your people have eventually shown us the piranhas if we hadn't taken you to the Amazon? Vorn asked. Lisa thought for a moment. Probably not, she admitted. We were being careful not to frighten you. We thought you wanted a gentle paradise. Instead, you showed us a real one, Vorn said, with all its beauty and all its teeth. As darkness fell over the lake, Lisa reflected on how differently things might have gone. If they hadn't shown the Xarians Earth's predators, the aliens might have continued believing Earth was a gentle Eden, missing the vital truth of its complex balance. Sometimes, she thought, understanding requires seeing the full picture, not just the beautiful parts, but the fierce ones too. There's a human saying, Lisa told Vorn, the truth will set you free. Vorn watched as the wolves disappeared into the forest. Yes, he said, and sometimes the truth has very sharp teeth. 1 year had passed since the day Lisa showed the Xarians the piranhas. Earth had changed in many ways because of the aliens. Their technology helped clean rivers and oceans. The air was cleaner in cities. Plants grew in places that had been empty for decades. But the biggest change was in how humans thought about nature. The Xarians had taught people to see the value in all parts of the ecosystem, even the parts that seemed scary or dangerous. Lisa drove her truck down a dirt road toward the newest Xarian project. The sign at the entrance read, North American, Predator Sanctuary. Behind the sign stretched miles of forest and open land where wolves, bears, mountain lions, and eagles now lived in growing numbers. Vorn waited for her at the main building, his blue skin bright in the morning sun. In the year since the piranha demonstration, he had become the leader of all Xarian projects on Earth. The wolves have formed 3 new packs this spring, he told Lisa as they walked through the sanctuary, and the eagle nests have doubled since last year. Lisa smiled. The local farmers were worried at first about having so many predators nearby, but your protection systems have kept livestock safe while still letting the wild animals roam free. They reached a hill that overlooked a wide valley. Through special viewing screens, they could see animals moving through the trees and meadows below without disturbing them. Next month, we open the first ocean sanctuary, Vorn said, pointing to a map on his tablet. We will protect sharks, orcas, and all the major ocean predators. Some people still don't understand why you focus so much on predators instead of the cute, friendly animals, Lisa said. Vorn's 4 eyes blinked in their pattern that Lisa now knew showed deep thought. People like to protect what they love. It is easy to love gentle plant eaters. It is harder to love the hunters with sharp teeth. But those hunters keep the whole system healthy. They walked to a new building at the center of the sanctuary. Inside, human and Xarian children sat together watching screens that showed different predators hunting in the wild. Unlike a year ago, the young Xarians didn't turn away from these scenes. They watched with scientific interest. Our teaching program has been very successful, Vorn said with pride. The children understand what our ancestors forgot, that life needs both creation and destruction to stay in balance. Later that day, Sam joined them for the opening of a new research lab at the sanctuary. His role had grown over the past year. Now he led a team of human and Xarian scientists who studied how to restore predators to areas where they had disappeared. We've mapped 50 areas around the world where bringing back apex predators could help heal damaged ecosystems, Sam explained, to a group of visitors. With Zarian technology, we can do this safely, even near human settlements. That evening, leaders from around the world gathered at the sanctuary for a special event. The Zarians were going to announce their biggest project yet. Vorn stood on a stage before the crowd. Behind him, a large screen showed images of Earth from space. "When we came to your world, we thought we had found a perfect paradise," he began. "We were wrong. Earth is not perfect, but that is why it works. The balance here is not gentle. It is fierce and efficient and sometimes violent, but that is its strength." The screen changed to show images of piranhas, wolves, sharks, eagles, and other predators from around the world. 1 year ago, our friend Lisa Cooper showed us something that changed our understanding forever. She showed us piranhas feeding. What seemed frightening at first became a key to understanding what our own world had lost. Vorn gestured to a group of older Zarians seated nearby. "Our historians have now confirmed that our home planet began to die when our ancestors removed the major predators. They thought they were creating a more peaceful world. Instead, they broke the circle of life." He touched the screen again, and it showed a new image. A strange animal that looked something like a lizard but with 6 legs and a spiked tail. "This is the Razik, the last great predator of our homeworld. It went extinct 5,000 years ago when our ancestors decided it was too dangerous to keep. Today we are proud to announce that using preserved genetic material and earth science, we have successfully recreated this species." Gasps and murmurs spread through the crowd. Lisa looked at Sam with wide eyes. This was completely unexpected. When Earth and Zaria join their knowledge, anything becomes possible, Vorn continued. "Our new joint project will create protected areas on our home planet, where we will reintroduce the Razik and other lost predator species. With Earth's help, we believe we can eventually make our world habitable again." The crowd clapped and cheered. The idea of helping the Zarians restore their home planet was exciting. Humans had been trying to fix their own planet for decades. Now they had a chance to help heal another world. After the speeches, Lisa found Vorn standing alone, looking up at the stars. "You never told me you were trying to bring back your predators," she said. "We weren't sure it was possible until recently," Vorn replied. "For generations we saw predators as a problem to be solved. Now we understand they are a necessary part of life." "Do you think your people will really move back to your home planet someday?" Lisa asked. "Some will. Others will stay here. Our two species have much to learn from each other." Vorn turned all 4 eyes to her. "But none of this would have happened if you hadn't shown us the piranhas." That moment changed everything. Lisa thought back to how worried she had been that day in the Amazon, how afraid that she had ruined humanity's relationship with the first aliens they had met. "I was so scared you would think Earth was too violent and leave," she admitted. "Instead, it showed us exactly what we needed to see." Vorn's skin rippled with blue waves of Zarian laughter. "Life is not meant to be only gentle. The teeth and claws are as important as the flowers and fruits." As they walked back to join the others, Lisa saw a family of wolves moving along the Mao edge of the forest in the distance. Once, these predators had been feared and hunted until they nearly disappeared. Now they were protected, valued for their important role in nature's balance. The Zarians had come to Earth looking for a perfect paradise. What they found instead was a world of complex balance, beautiful and harsh, nurturing and dangerous all at the same time. In the feeding of the piranhas, they had seen not just violence but efficiency, not just death but renewal. Sometimes, Lisa thought, the most important lessons come from the things that frighten us most. For the Zarians, the sharp teeth of Earth's predators had not been a warning to stay away, but a key to understanding what their own world had lost. And in that understanding, both species had found a new way forward, together. As the stars came out overhead, human and alien children played in the distance, their laughter mixing in the night air. 2 worlds had found each other across the vastness of space. And though neither was a perfect paradise, together they were learning how to heal.